my bride. My bride is not just one arm. My bride is not just one leg, but a body. So he says, I'm coming back after a body of baptized believers. Now, we know that let me do this. If you go with me to Ephesians, the 4th chapter. This was Paul talking to the Ephesians. Now, I'm going to start the 11th verse. It said, and he gave some apostles, and some prophets, and some evangelists, and some pastors, and teachers. Why? For the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry. We have to edify. We have to first know how to edify each other before we can edify the world. Till we all come into the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of God, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Christ, that we henceforth be no more children tossed to and fro, and carried about with every wind of doctrine, by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive. Now, without relationships, until we come together, joint to joint, relationship to relationship, we're going to be like children tossed to and fro. Because we have no stability. We have not been established. By speaking the truth in love, may grow up into him. Him who? Christ. In all things, which is the head, even Christ. From whom the whole body fitly joined together and compact by that which every joint supplieth, according to the effectual working in the measure of every part, make an increase of the body unto the edifying of itself in love. Now I want to read you a different version of that same verse, 16th verse. From him the whole body, joined and held together by every supporting ligament, grows and builds itself up in love as each part does its work. I need you. There's not a person in here I don't need. Anyone that thinks that there's a person here they don't need, you've got a problem. I don't have the problem. You got the problem. Because I know that I need each and every one of you. Remember when Christ passed out gifts, he didn't make us all teachers. They weren't all pastors. But different things. It takes all of us to come together as one. Now, we are fitted and bonded together with other bones. Simply, those bones are spiritual joints, spiritual relationships. They provide us with stability while we labor with each other to produce growth and new strength. We're not all on the same level, but we're all going for the same goal. We want Jesus Christ. We want him, all the fullness of him. Where one is weak at, we help build them up. That way they're not like a child tossed to and fro. When a person comes in, or even within our body, if there's inactivity or a person doesn't feel like they're a part, they will soon drift away. We don't want that. So if we don't want it among us, we got to get it right here first. We want each one to feel the love. When anybody comes through that door, they should feel the love. The love of Christ should be emanating so that when they walk in, ooh, it feels different in here. Something they never felt before. So, wow, I never felt like this. And then when we go up and greet them and show them our love by simply asking them, hello, my name is such and such. What's yours? Most people don't get to this, come in and they sit on the back pews or the back, seats. And I read where they would show one family went to a church and they were looking for a place, and people just passed all by them. Yeah. Nobody ever stopped to say good morning. Nobody stopped to see. Everybody was so busy doing. You can get too busy. Yeah. Too busy till you're no good in a sense, because you're too busy doing what? Yeah, nothing. You get caught up in nothingness, or get caught up in self to you think, oh, this is more important. Nothing is more important to Christ than his people coming together. God said, I'm paraphrasing, I used to hear it all the time growing up, he would that all men would be saved. But he knows that some will choose their own way. But no man will ever say that he made them do anything. He's always given us a choice. Now, what is a joint? We know that physically, it's bone to bone. Those ligaments hold together. But we also know that spiritual joints are interpersonal relationships between people. Between people. We don't experience this unity mentally because we mentally agree, but because God joins us at the heart. Because we're all going to think different things. Oh, but the heart must come together. Because when there is unity, we all see in one vision, one goal, and we all want to make it there. But when you got somebody that's pulling you here and you're trying to go forward, we got a problem. You got a problem. But we all want one common vision. Now, unity doesn't come by belonging to the same association. You got a lot of people going to the same association, YMCA. These big associations, they all go in associations. Does it mean they're in unity? Absolutely not. You got churches turmoil in big churches. Does that mean there's unity? No. 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 Does it mean that unity is an ecclesiastic thing where you think, well, if you're a pastor, you can be in unity? Mm-mm. Come on.
Help somebody.
Mm-mm.
Help me.
God didn't leave nobody out.
That's right.
He didn't leave anybody out. He gave titles so that men would be able to respond.
Right.
Because God is a man of reverence.
Right.
And he has order.
Yeah.
Unity is about relationship. It's relational. And the most powerful and the most important relationship of your life is that between you and God.
Yeah.
Now, there's a threefold purpose of relationships. Now, why does God unite us through relationships? And how do they affect us in the function of the church? I just read you Ephesians 4:16. The joints in the church fit together and hold us together and help supply spiritual needs. We are to be helpers one to another. Most Christians, as I said before, they remain uninvolved and inactive in their churches. Why? Because they simply don't feel a part. They don't feel a part. Whose fault is that? It's the church's fault. They're coming in looking. And you have churches that will get mad at them because they don't stay. Well, you failed to do your first duty. You want them to commit to something and you haven't shown anything? Oh, no. No. People aren't doing that. And the way people are microwaving now, they're quick to jump. And if they don't see it, they'll move. But they are still looking. They're hungry. They're hungry. Now, relationships always precede involvement.
Is that number one?
Mm-hmm. Relationship always precedes or comes before involvement. When two people are dating, involved, they don't really, when they get in a relationship, the relationship is established before they really want to start knowing each other, before they feel comfortable with talking about things that have happened. And the more they're in that relationship, the more they learn about each other and come together, the more comfortable they become to share. But if all I know is your first name, and all you know is my first name, you're not in no relationship.
I had to look. I got her full name when I met her.
But there was no relationship.
That's right. That's right.
Until you got involved.
That's right.
Yeah. And it wasn't until she began to like what she saw and and that you begin to reveal yourself.
That's when I gave him the
There you go. That's when she gave the real name. All right. Now, when you belong to a church, it is through relationships. I know you, you know me, and you, how you doing? I get to know you, and I get to know you, and we get to know each other, and we begin to bond together. Because we begin to invest our time not only with each other, but in the church, and we get more, well, I like to do that, I can do that, or you get into different activity, you're getting involved. Relationships are beginning to form. They're also the only way you feel secure. I mean, do you want to really go with a person that you just go along with them and they never say anything to you and you never say anything to them? Do you feel secure in that? No. Now, relationships is the way you get friends. That's the way friends come about. It's through relationships.
Is that number 2?
That's number 3. Feeling secure was number 2.
Oh, feeling secure.
We need the support of each other. We function at our best when we know we have